Hey everyone, welcome back. And this is my review of In Search of Lost Future, episode 9, I want to say. It's either 8 or 9, but I think it's 9. Wow. Am I the only one who thought this episode was actually really depressing? Oh boy. Yeah. This week's episode of In Search of Lost Future. Damn, it really hit me hard, man. It really did. Oh man. I really don't know what to say here. I did not expect this. I expected either one of two things. For it to either relapse time again, or for it to be kind of be sad, but nothing like this. Now, at first I thought the episode felt kind of rushed to me, but I think I understand why they did that. It's probably because they're short on time in the series, and they wanted to show a lapse of what happened over 14 years of time. Okay. Apparently, after the accident this time around, for 14 years, pretty much everyone, all of Kaori's friends, were doing research to try to find a way to bring her out of this coma, because the doctor said that her condition was stabilizing, but there was a chance that she'd never come out of the coma. And for 14 years, she stayed in the coma. Alright. So ended up becoming I forget what he said he became, but he went to college and he became this professor in some sort of a science or something in order to research ways to cure her, basically. And, what's her name? That one chick who I think's Kaori's older sister, basically. She looks a lot like Kaori. That's why I kind of assume that. She was actually doing the same thing, except with different ways. And it's really kind of confusing as to exactly what they were researching, because I am by no means a specialist in these fields. You couldn't even call me a novice in these fields, okay? So in terms of me understanding this stuff, yeah, no. I'm just going to assume that they know what they're talking about and move on. Also, a lot of the rest of the techno babble in this episode, although it sounded really interesting, I didn't understand a word of it. I'm going to be honest with you here. I really didn't. Alright? So, yeah. In terms of that, yeah, that's that. But other than that, though, it does start to fill in some clues. It's filling pieces of the puzzle. Apparently, Yui is an artificial life form created. They don't know who created Yui or where. My guess is that Yui probably came from far into the future of them now. They're 14 years. There was a time skip to 14 years in the future. My guess is that Yui came from even further in the future, when human technology could create an artificial life form like Yui. And what they were initially planning on doing was actually using Yui as a base in order to create a new vessel for Kaori, a new artificial body for Kaori, and transferring all of her data, including her brain, all her organs and stuff like that, and mainly her brain and all the data in her brain, over to the new body, which was really interesting, but it failed because of the current technology. Even 14 years in the future, the technology apparently wasn't even close to being able to do that successfully. Alright, and they actually risked destroying Kaori's current body, so the end of the episode, they were planning on sending Yui back in time to save Kaori. Is it starting to make sense now? That's what that was at the beginning of the first episode. At the end of the first episode, when Kaori was supposedly killed, but then there was a time lapse where she was perfectly fine. Yui apparently saved her. Alright. Or rather, she appeared and so ended up finding her, which caused which caused Kaori to go and see what was up with him, which caused her to miss the accident. That's what happened. Mind fucking blown. Given a lot of the bullshit we've had to deal with in the series so far, it's still not going to make it in my top 10 anime of the year, probably, or of the, definitely not of the year, but of the season, probably. But I might actually mention it as an honorable mention when I make the list at the end of the year, because this was just, damn, I did not expect this at all. Really depressing, too. Okay, like, the one thing that I still don't quite understand, and this is where when you're dealing with time travel, it's really confusing, but if that's how Kaori was saved earlier on in the series, then how come that didn't happen at the end of the last episode? At the end of the last episode, when Kaori was in the accident again, how come Yui didn't come back from the future to save her? That's a question that still needs to be answered, okay? But other than that, it was a very good episode. But it was also a very depressing episode. I think this might be the best episode in the series so far, though. Really. Then again, there's not a whole lot of competition, but still. It was great. It really was. The animation still really sucked, unfortunately. Which I think this is an episode that would have benefited, the type of episode that would have benefited even more from great animation, or at least decent animation. Unfortunately, they couldn't even get the animation to decent levels in this episode. But, and the art, still nothing really much to say there. The music is actually really good, especially a lot of the violins and pianos in this episode that plays are actually really good. Not some of the best I've ever heard in an anime, but still, it's worth mentioning. Alright, and just overall, the feels in this episode were through the fucking roof. They really were. Like, I'm not kidding here. This was sad, depressing. It really was. And oh dear God. So I'm really speechless here because I didn't think they'd actually do this to me. The series, at this point in the series, I didn't think they would actually do this to me, but it did. And it's and it's really fucking good. So tell me your thoughts about this episode in the comment section below. If you've yet to see this week's episode of In Search of Lost Future, then I definitely recommend that you do. I cannot wait for next week's episode for 2 reasons, or 3 reasons. 1, this episode was amazing. 2, that fucking cliffhanger killed me the most. Like, oh my fucking God. And when it was reaching the end, I knew that was going to happen. I fucking knew it. And it killed me inside. That fucking cliffhanger. So yeah, I really need to see what's going to happen next. And also the title of the next episode is called Running Out of Time or something along those lines, which, or maybe it's Out of Time or something like that, which is a very interesting title for the next episode, and I can't wait to see what that means actually in context. Alright, so anyways, overall, I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. That's you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.